Hi guys, welcome back to Four-Wheel Drive is Life. Today we're doing an off-road review of the Toyota FJ Cruiser. FJ Cruiser is a rugged and capable SUV that has become a favorite among off-road enthusiasts and overlanders. Inspired by the classic FJ40, the FJ Cruiser features a distinctive retro-inspired design that sets it apart from other SUVs on the market. But this isn't just a vehicle for looks. The FJ Cruiser is built to handle rough terrain with features like high ground clearance, four-wheel drive, crowd control, rear differential locker that make it a force to be reckoned with off-road. In this review, we'll take a closer look at the FJ Cruiser's off-road capabilities and see how it performs on the green and blue trails at Rausch Creek Off-Road Park. This blue FJ Cruiser is equipped with Bilstein 6112 in the front and 5160 in the back. The front is set up at the third notch out of 5 notches available for 6112 with a 1/4 inch spacer on the driver's side, where the rear has a 10mm spacer on the driver's side as well to achieve a total even 1.5 to 2 inch of lift front and back. And the vehicle's tire size is 285/75 R17, which is right in between a 33 and 35 inch tires, and I believe it's the perfect fit for this FJ Cruiser. Not too much, but definitely more than 33s, which give it an increase in the ground clearance. As you've just seen, the trail gets sort of narrow in some spots, so the shorter wheelbase and relatively smaller size of the FJ Cruiser is definitely appreciated. This terrain coming up is a really sharp right turn with a steep climb and huge rocks in the middle of the hump right in front of the vehicle. So it tests out the vehicle's breakover angle, which should be no problem for this modified FJ Cruiser. I have to say that this is the cleanest FJ Cruiser I've ever seen. It's almost stockish looking with minimal lift, 2 inches, and 34 inch tires, which should be more than capable for a lot of the terrains at Rausch Creek. Next is a steep incline. Due to the weather being so dry, the traction is great, so the vehicle was not even four-wheel drive, and as you can see, started to slip, and the driver kind of backed down a little more and used a little bit momentum, and there was no approach departure breakover angle problems, so it didn't hit anything and it just went right up. Here's a very rocky downhill trail that tests out the vehicle's breakover approach and departure angle. And as you can see in a little bit, as you will see in a little bit, the FJ Cruiser kind of bent up on the tailpipe, the stock tailpipe, which is a shame, but it does the job. Nothing major damage was done. That definitely hurts. By the way, if you like what you're seeing so far, please consider subscribe to my channel Four-Wheel Drive is Life and hit the like button. That will really help this channel to grow so that it will show more people like you of my contents. Good. Here's Trail 11 at Rausch Creek Off-Road Park. It's one of the Jeep's Badge of Honor trail at Rausch Creek. It's a upward climb while going through a series of mogul with an extreme off-camber situation. So the driver has to pay a lot of attention into the lines you're picking to avoid the vehicle being flipping over sideways, especially when you have a shorter wheelbase vehicle. When FJ's tires are lifted in the air, it tested its traction control system, which is called A-Track. Because it applies brake on the spinning wheel so that no torque is lost in the drivetrain, and therefore all the torque is being used for vehicles moving forward and upwards. See how the passenger front tire is braking while it's in the air? That's A-track at work. The FJ also had its rear locker engaged in this climb, therefore at least on the rear axles there's no torque loss. Very nice driving. Here's a little downhill situation, consists of continuous mogul, not tight moguls, but like very wide open, so that the vehicles can attack it with a little more speed while testing out the suspension flex. As you see here, the FJ suspension is fully flexed right here. It's very impressive for a aftermarket mid-travel suspension, which is the Bilstein 6112 and 5160 in the back. With the help of the coils and some shims front and back, it's achieving 2-inch lift front and back. As you can see here, it's even more impressive and obvious to get a feel of how much it's articulating from behind. As one side being compressed, the whole vehicle wiggles a little bit. You know, I can just nerd out on the suspension travel all day. This trail is called Tip Top. Basically, it's a very steep incline of rocks. It's not really friendly to a shorter wheelbase FJ Cruiser. However, some FJs were able to make it, but not this case. It's understandable as the car shifted to the left. It's just a lot, like very sketchy to move forward. And eventually the FJ has to be winched up instead of risking to flip the vehicle. Here's a section of green trails. It's an incline in the woods, so this is very friendly to a shorter wheelbase FJ.
Maybe want to stay this way too, just to ride it. Right? Your rear diff is gonna touch. It's fine. Just slow. Perfect. Cleared.
Big spot. Good spot. Now bump it, but I guess. Okay.
This is a section of rock garden at Rausch Creek. The rocks are not boulders, but it's definitely sizable for this vehicle to handle. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of how the Bilstein 6112 and 5160 performs on the rocks. At the end of the rock garden section, there's a little climb to test out vehicle's clearance capability and traction control / lockers. Here comes a short section of Blue Trail. There's some large rocks to tackle in the beginning of the climb. So our idea was to negotiate any obstacles as slowly as possible so that we can avoid a lot of the bodily damage. That's some nice droop in the rear axle. In this kind of situation, the driver has to completely rely on the spotter because the driver normally would not be able to see anything in front of the truck. Very nice spotting and driving.
That's our slider. All right. Yeah, your slider. Hold on. Let's do this one. Back up or go? Keep